my goodness, where do I start? Joseph Hellon is in the building. And you're giving us some George Michael, sounding so good right here on the show. Welcome to the Spice Drive.
Thank you so much. So glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
First of all, I haven't seen you in such a long time. Where do I start? You're just as talented as you are controversial. You're very controversial. And one of the tweets that I got today was, is it the real Joseph Hellon?
There's only one.
There's only one. Where have you been, Joseph Hellon?
I've been working, doing business, creating music, doing church work and all that.
Yes.
Just busy.
Wow.
Yes, some people say, man, you've gone underground. And I tell them, underground is where gold is found.
I like that. So that's where you've been.
Yes.
It's been 10 years since you got into the headlines. You were a newsmaker 10 years ago.
Yes.
After you started your church, Finger of God. And a lot of people were hearing about you for the first time at that time.
Yes.
But you are a renowned musician.
Yes.
You are an instrumentalist. And you're also a pastor.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like in the Bible, David was a great shepherd,
Yes.
good businessman, great soldier, great musician, and also a prophet. So it works like that.
And that's just your kind of...
Yeah, that's my life. That's how I'm made. You know, I started preaching when I was a kid.
Yes.
I started singing when I was a kid.
Yes.
I ran choirs when I was a little child. I think I conducted my first choir when I was 7 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it just carried on like that. Yeah. So I'm in business, I'm in ministry, I'm in music, I'm in farming, so many different things.
And you brought my favorite shoes. I mean, we must Instagram for the shoes today.
Thank you.
It's all sparkles and spice. I love it. You look the part. You've always been flamboyant.
Thank
You're
you.
like our Kenyan Al Sharpton or something. I don't know. You've got spice as always. But
Thank
there's
you.
one thing that surrounds your name, Joseph Hellon.
Tell me.
Controversy.
Controversy is good for business.
Oh my goodness. Controversy is good for business.
Nothing else sells.
So,
In fact,
yes.
being on radio right now, this job that you do sells controversy. So we are good for you.
So you're the newsmaker.
Precisely.
You're it.
In fact, I remember in 2010 when all these things, Finger of God, Esther Arunga, Quincy,
Placenta
whatever,
party.
Placenta, name them, cults and all that. When I asked one of the journalists, I said, look, you know me very well.
Yes.
Why do you continue publishing these things? You know what they told me? They said, you know what, Helen, don't let fact get in the way of a good story. Your story sells, so let's keep going.
Wait a minute. Way before hashtags and black excellence and clickbait, you were making news
Yes.
because of controversy.
Yes.
And this is something that you're well aware of.
Yes, I'm well aware of that. And the reason being, I tell the truth. Truth is controversial. It is controversial. And it will take people sometimes 3 years, 4 years, 10 years to get to know what's really true. By then, it's been as controversial as ever. And then they say, oh, so that's what he meant. Oh, so that's why he acted the way he did. You see, as long as one is not doing something illegal,
Yes.
something ungodly. Yeah. In my case, for example, I was arrested.
Yes.
Arraigned in court.
Yes.
1.5 years of hearings.
Yes.
Not a single mistake was found in me. The case was thrown out. It was thrown out for lack of evidence. Everybody was invited to bring their evidence if they had one.
Yes.
Not one bit of evidence. Okay. So it simply means I was not doing anything illegal and I wasn't doing anything ungodly. And I'm here as happy as ever.
I mean, you look amazing, first
Thank
of all.
you.
And you're
You
an
look
innocent
gorgeous
man.
yourself.
Oh, well, thank you so much. You look amazing. And you're saying you're innocent. You're a music man. You're a family man.
Yes.
You are a mentor. You have guided so many people. And another thing that pops up when your name comes up is your connection to Esther Arunga.
That's
It's
right.
been a long time. And this is a throwback station. We have to go way back. And we're going to be
Yes.
talking about her as well. How far can I go with this interview?
As far as you want. I'm ready to answer any question from you and from any other person listening.
And then we're going to play some music.
Yes.
And then you're also going to share with me who your newsmaker has been to this week. You know, a man of controversy takes you know, one name probably that you'll share with us in the next hour. We're going to be talking about that. Plus, we've got today's trendmill topic. I can't wait to hear what you think of it. We're talking about emotional intelligence.
Oh, I love that.
And who is it? You know, men or women? Who is more emotionally intelligent? Before we cross over to the next hour, who do you think is the winner here in this game?
The person who is more emotionally intelligent.
Yes, men or women.
Women always are more emotionally intelligent because they look at things through motives. Men see things in one straight line, you know, like the steps or the rungs of the ladder going up a flight of stairs.
Yes.
But ladies operate in a web-like manner. So they look at left, right, back, forth. And that's why sometimes they may take a bit longer to do certain things. But that gives them a higher level of emotional intelligence. And that's the reason why, for example, in my life, any time my wife told me not to do something and I did it, it failed.
What did she say about this show? What did she say about you coming for this interview?
She loved it. She's actually listening right now.
Do you get a lot of people trying to take photos of you when you are up and about?
Yeah, quite a lot. There's a time I was just walking down the street, entered into an ice cream parlor. The next day it was on a newspaper. I thought, ice cream?
Yes.
Did I scream?
Oh my gosh, you are something else. So do you find people recognizing you when you're trying to just live your normal life, or is this something that you actually love?
Sometimes a bit intrusive. For example, when you go to the supermarket and you're with your beautiful wife and children and you just want to buy your own things,
right?
And then somebody stops and says, Hellon,
Yes.
we're on Hellon. So, okay, what's the big deal? Do your shopping. Let me do my shopping.
Yes.
If you want an autograph, come for it. Or if you want to say hello, just approach and say hello.
Yes.
But the whispering and hiding, in those aisles, it's just not cool.
It's not cool, but then again, you must understand where people are coming from. You're that guy who, way before Twitter was a thing, way before you could get, robots to push a name, you are out there in the news. And the stories were controversial. And you're saying, I'm an innocent man. But then when we had that narrative.
I'm an innocent man.
I'm an innocent man. And the narrative at the time, we had no choice but to take whatever we were fed. And you never quite went out there and cleared the air about all the stories that people were talking about. You are a jazz Kenyan musician, head of Finger of God Church. We're going to tell us whether that still exists. And the co-founder of the Placenta Party. You're a father, you're a husband.
Yes.
And your beautiful wife is listening into the show.
She is listening.
Where did you guys meet?
We met when I was 17 years old. I was teaching music in some place in Westlands called Real Music School. I'd just come out of high school.
Yes.
Then I see this beautiful lady with, glossy, long hair and the most brilliant smile.
Wow.
And I'm telling you, I was smitten at 17.
What?
And that was it. After that, we just built it up, got married 4 years later. Actually, 6 years later.
Yes.
We had a 6-year courtship.
Wow.
And we're still married today.
No other girl at that time. You just saw her, love at first sight.
That was it.
You believe in it?
That's it.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what did you say to her? I mean, you look at her, and you're attracted to her. And then
oh my goodness, I sang songs. I composed songs. I bought cakes. By the way, the ring she wears right now.
Yes.
Is a ring I bought her during her 18th birthday.
Wow.
She has jewelry I bought her during her 18th birthday. That's many, many years ago. I was serious right from the word go.
And you're still married today.
We're still married today.
A huge supporter of everything that you do. Mm-hmm. Even when you were making bad news, she was still there. How was it during that time?
You mean business news?
You were making bad news, Hellon.
Business
Let
news.
me tell you, you scared a lot of us. And we're thinking, what? Look at this man so confident. And you're always suited up whenever you'd have all these, interviews or on TV.
Yes.
Was your wife present even during that time?
She was always there. If you go to YouTube right now, you'll find she was always by my side. The thing about my wife is that she doesn't talk as much as I do. You can't, both of you can't just be talking.
God never gives
confusion.
you that. Yeah, God never gives you that.
She handles things in the background, and maybe people need to know this. She's very good in business. So I make money. She handles all the money.
Yes.
So she prefers to stay in the background. But she was in every single one of those news conferences. She was in every single one of them. It's only that she didn't talk because I'm the loud one in the marriage.
Yes.
Yeah. She's the quiet one in the marriage.
But she's still a force.
I'm telling you, a force to reckon with. I usually say that if you see smoke anywhere, something burning, Probably my wife was there trying to fix things. And she has these soft steps and a gentle voice. But I'm telling you, wherever she is, if you give her a place to stand, she'll move the earth.
Wow, I love that.
That's why I can catch a grenade for her.
She's got a quiet strength, and
Yes.
it's something that you say has been, putting you guys together.
Yes.
And you're also a father. You have a son?
I have an 8-year-old son
Yes.
and a 5-year-old girl. Beautiful people, I tell you.
Right.
They are everything to me. My wife is a good producer. She produced the most beautiful kids.
I love that. I was thinking you're going to talk about a record, but yeah, I love that. You're dropping gems. From music to controversy to you as a family man, there's a lot of things that, in another person's view, ruined your reputation in the sense that you had a lot of things you wanted to do, but
Yes.
when it comes to public opinion, Hellon, you are a villain 10 years ago. Take us through the inception of the church Finger of God and the Placenta Party. First of all, the names of these organizations,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Why the Finger of God and why the Placenta Party?
Okay, let me start with Finger of God. I was born
Yes.
to preach. I was born to be a man of God. There are people who get into ministry for money. I've never collected money for ministry. I do ministry for free. Okay, those who have been where I preach know that.
Right.
So I was born to minister. So in my study of the Word of God, one of the reasons I came up with the name Finger of God is because it's another name, an epithet for the Holy Spirit. Luke 11 verse 20. If I by the finger of God cast out demons from you, then the kingdom of God has come. And then the Bible also says that God, the tabernacle, the tablets of the law were written by the finger of God. You see? So that's the Holy Spirit who runs the church.
Right.
So the narrow-minded fellows would take it and turn it into something that is found in their guttered mind. And that's granted. There are people like that. But if you know the Bible clearly, then you will handle that name with reverence and awe. Yeah.
So you let them run with it. You
Oh,
said,
yes.
okay, fine, you guys have a field day.
Yes,
Enjoy whatever you're doing. I know what I'm doing.
precisely.
That never broke you.
No. How can I be broken when I'm doing what's right and the others are laughing because they're fools? Why should I be bothered by fools? People who will not do research. They won't go into the Bible to find out if the name is the right name or not.
Right.
They only have one understanding of a thing. So if they look at you and they see you're wearing glasses, they'll say, she is called glasses. Yeah? And she has headphones on. Oh my goodness, that girl is glasses and headphones. Because that's all they see. And a microphone. You need to go a bit deeper.
There's more than that.
If one is shallow and narrow-minded, I grant them their shallowness and narrow-mindedness. And later, like I told you, 10 years later, they say, oh, no wonder he called it that name. You understand?
But you never felt the need to sit down, as you call them, fools, and
Yes.
say, this is what I was trying to do. You didn't want to give everything that was thrown at you the attention. You wanted to focus on what you were doing.
I focused on what I was doing, but I also gave these explanations. And remember what I told you before? They say don't let facts get into the way of a good story. So the story continued running, and I said, okay, run with it. In the meantime, you're advertising me. By the way, I got lots of business projects as a result.
Is it?
No news is bad news. That's why I told you I was making business, and you're saying I was making bad news.
And you're like, cash flow.
Business.
Let's do what we need to do.
Yes.
Let's talk about the Placenta Party, and as a co-founder,
Yeah.
let's talk about the process of how you arrived at this.
Okay, that was not really my idea. That was Quincy's idea.
Yes.
At
Where
that
is he
particular,
now?
yeah, I think he's in some jail in Australia, somewhere.
Okay.
Yes.
We'll revisit. So it was his idea.
Yeah, you know how the constitution is.
Yes.
If you want to be a presidential candidate, you can't also be chairman of the party.
Right.
So he wanted to be chairman. The idea originally was that I would be presidential candidate and
Yes.
Esther would be my running mate.
Yes.
And we were just testing the waters. But because we're already in, all over the place on those news, it became a very big thing. It worked really well for us.
Yes.
But I was not really going to run. I was testing the waters, introducing myself
Yes.
into the field. So, of course, Quincy came up with that particular name to
Yes.
create greater controversy. I did not agree with it But at that particular time, I had more important things to do to get us out of the court corridors, because we were sued for all manner of things. So I needed to get myself out of this trouble and then rectify things later, which I actually did. By December of 2010, I'd found out exactly who Quincy was,
Yes.
because I was done with all the legal matters and the like. And we parted ways, and I left the Placenta party. I never really agreed with the name. But at that particular time, we needed to operate as one team because we had common issues. We were sued in court, and we needed to fight these battles as one team.
Right.
When we were done with that, I confronted him, plus Esther.
Yes.
And that is how we parted ways. In fact, from that time onwards, Esther's not spoken to me.
So,
December of 2010.
so you were called a cult leader, among
Yes,
many
I
other
was.
things.
Yes, I was called that.
And the movement or the Placenta Party, or the way you guys operated and the way you did your things,
Yeah.
there were questions around, are these people serious? Are we part of a big game? What is going on? So Quincy coming into the mix, his personality was hard to ignore as well. He was out there very confident about the stuff that he was doing.
Yes.
And a darling of Kenyan television.
Yes.
Also in the mix. You can imagine how emotive this became, because everyone was a huge
Yes.
fan of Esther Arunga, darling of the nation. She could do no wrong, huh?
Precisely.
Way before, again.
Perceived.
Yes, perceived.
Yes.
What is it that we did not know about Esther Arunga?
I
Because
really,
the image out there was
Yeah.
that you took advantage of Kenya's darling.
all right, let me just make this clear. Now, for those who care to know the truth, way before people knew Esther Arunga, I was out training her. I'm a mentor. I mentor so many people. I would not want to mention their names. There are big names in the music industry in this country that I've mentored, and out of this country, in different nations of the world. I don't want to mention their names unless they permit me to, or unless they do it themselves.
Right.
So I was mentoring her as well, alongside many other journalists too. Yeah. And I trained her from reading business news to reading 9 o'clock news. And all this time, Esther was staying in my house, and Esther was in our church. You see, the false notion is this, that I took her out of TV and got her into a cult.
Yes.
What made her brilliant and bright and everybody's darling was the training we were taking her through all that time. The guy that messed Esther's life is not me, it was Quincy. And the interesting thing is that she made that choice. And when a 32-year-old woman makes a choice, you know the story of Romeo and Juliet. Just leave them alone. Okay? I remember my wife telling Esther's mom that this woman has made this choice. If you fight her, she'll become cemented to this guy. Leave her alone, and she'll find out who this guy is much later, and she'll actually leave him herself.
Right.
Well, they did not listen. They brought in police. You know, you want to separate people using police, you
Yeah.
cement them.
Right.
So that's where the problem is. Esther was my mentee. I mentored her all through. But this is, of course, that's good news, and good news doesn't sell.
Right.
Yeah. So you have to say, oh, he took her from a beautiful career, got her into this cult, brainwashed her, and all those other things. Okay, you had 1.5 years when we were taken to court to prove all that. But you know what cowards do? They talk behind their keyboards. But if you tell them, come and present your witness statement, you will not see them anywhere.
Right.
So such people are granted, as I said, their foolishness, and life goes on. I'm such a happy person.
You
My
look
wife is so
happy.
happy and blessed.
You look happy. You
Yeah.
look blessed.
Yes.
And you also look very confident, and you've got your closure. How do you manage to still be Hellon in the midst of having all these things said about you?
Let me tell you something, my dear. The moment you stand out, you become a target. If you don't want people to talk about you, be as obscure as obscurity itself. If you are just to wear your heels and dress well, they will talk about you. So it's okay. Look, they're talking about Trump right now, aren't they? They talked about Obama.
But you know, Trump is a totally different issue, right?
Everybody's different. Everybody has their thing going. Okay?
So if
right
you
now,
want-
it's
if you
Zuckerberg.
want- Yes.
They are talking about Zuckerberg. Oh, everybody's pulling out their sponsorship and all that. You see, he has had his share of controversy. If you're going to be successful in life, there'll be haters. There'll be those who love you. There'll be those who want to take advantage of you. Of course, you'll also make mistakes along the line. Where I made mistakes, of course, I apologize publicly.
Yeah.
I did. Yeah, I did.
You know, you have a quality, or maybe I would say a gift, and I don't know if that's stemmed in your spirituality, your gift of being able to hear, but you're not listening to the note. Like you're there. And as a musician, I think it's also an asset because you have a very profound sense of filter. You know how to just know what this is not going to work. And you've got a sense of foresight as well.
Yeah.
Looking back, do you think there's anything you could have done differently in terms of, as we see Esther Arunga and Quincy? It wasn't
Nothing.
exactly. Do you think there's something you could have done?
Though I'm much wiser now, especially in my choice of friends and those I allow in my environment, I'll frisk you a bit. I'll ask you a couple of questions, yeah? And if Quincy were to show up at this particular time, I would not give him time of day. But the guy showed up and in 2 weeks you were arrested. I had not known him well. And as a preacher, anyone who comes to church is accepted, whether they're a thug or whether they're an angel. That's what church is about. So he showed up looking for help. We had to accept him. But then, of course, he came to con and all those other things. But that's history. I would not change anything because every experience in life is like an educational system. It was a schooling system I would not have learned in Harvard if I went there. I'm much wiser. I know people's motives right now. It's difficult to con me. Yeah. And one very significant thing, I don't do anything without hearing the opinion and the emotional intelligence of my wife.
We're going to get into that because earlier you were talking about women being of a higher EQ than men.
Yes, they are.
And, it's good when you hear it from our male counterparts. When they say, you guys are good at this, you're better at it.
Yeah.
And people that are emotionally intelligent have the ability to navigate and go through issues that other people probably wouldn't. They don't let their emotions get in the way. It has been a season of seeing a lot of stories, and one of the newsmakers today is the pastor who decided to kidnap himself so that he can have people send money. So that it was one of those things. They called it the COVID hustle.
Yeah,
do you have
COVID hustle.
Yeah. Do you have a COVID hustle, or you've managed to just get through this season?
Yeah,
it's been challenging for many people.
Let
Even
me
the people
tell you.
that consider themselves, strong-willed and they're consistent through every single situation have been challenged.
Let me just tell you, I'm so grateful for the difficulties I've been through, including all the Esther Arunga Quincy saga.
Yes.
Those things strengthen your resolve. If you choose not to be bitter, you can only get better. Those who get bitter are the ones who are broken by vicissitudes of life, as I would put it. So I was strengthened a long time ago. So this has not touched me in any way. I'm totally, me and my wife and my family and those around me, we are totally unscathed. Why do I say that? Any hardship that comes into your life is supposed to help you re-innovate. Challenges will cause you to innovate and re-innovate. If you're not prepared for it, of course, you're in trouble. Yeah. So those who understood that you need to get onto social media and get onto IT and start doing business online are unmoved. Look at Amazon, for example, how much money they've made during this time.
Right.
You see. But those who thought, those are for young people and all that are in so much trouble. I'm not saying this in a heartless way. This is a fact of life. Difficulties will cause you to innovate and re-innovate. So if somebody has a COVID hustle, for example, trying to cheat people to send money and all that, that's foolish. Yeah, such people should be arrested.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Simple as that.
We're going to play another song.
All right.
You are so many things. Like, I'm just trying to unpack little by little. And then I'm going to sip my coffee a little bit. I've got some feedback here on the timeline. Someone here saying, I'm collecting Sadaka today. Shout out to Hellon. It's been a long time. He is so eloquent and kind. Okay.
Thank you.
And another comment here says, any political ambitions still? We're going to get into that a little bit later on.
All right.
Kenneth Nauru, great to see you here on the timeline. You're saying loving the show, loving the honey voice. Thank you so much. And another one here says, take it away, Joseph Hellon. We need to hear you play some more. What are you going to play for us next?
I'm going to play this song by Lionel Richie called Hello. By the way, just before I play that,
yes,
another controversial thing they say about me. Say, you are a preacher. Why do you play these secular songs?
Right. You should be playing something else.
I should be playing worship songs. I'm just a little question for them. If you are a preacher, do you use an aeroplane? Do you stay in hotels, for example? When you are, again, narrow-minded, you'll use religion as a whip to separate you from other people. But if you're open-minded and you're well-studied, you've read the Bible properly, you'll find out that whatever is not contrary to God is fine. For example, Hello is a love song. Love comes from God. So I don't see things as secular and gospel. I see things as godly. If you love somebody, that's a beautiful thing.
Yes.
Okay? A lot of preachers, by the way, have bored and sad and depressed wives. Why? Because they pray all the time.
Yes.
Yeah, they're always in that realm.
And they
of
don't
the
even have
spirit.
shoes like yours.
Yeah.
They don't even have shoes like that.
Their wives are bored because they're not taken out. They don't dance with them. They don't sing for them or
Right.
write poetry. They want to preach all the time. There is time for preaching. But there's time for loving a wife and loving children. That's the reason why most children of preachers are rebellious, because of shifting goalposts. So I play these songs because I'm an entertainer as well. I need to entertain people.
I love this.
And then during Sunday, I'll preach to you. And if you think there's a problem in my life, tell it to me. If it's something genuine, I'll rectify it. If it is just your hatred, I will ignore you.
The Spice Drive with Monique. Spicing up your drive.